The final lap and a half was remaining for the race to end, and the competition was cutthroat. The other 6 participants remained forgotten as all eyes were on Jacob and Michael. The race could end up in anyone's favor now, and it was only a matter of a few moments. The long races were generally not a big attraction for the students as they got bored, but ever since Michael started participating in them, it became a much anticipated event, especially for girls who were vying for his attention. Today, for the first time, there was another guy who could actually beat Michael, and this caught every guy's attention. They focused on the race with rapt attention. It was quite refreshing to see that Jacob could take away Michael's long-standing status of a champion. Michael would be disgraced if he lost this race, let alone losing to a first-time participant like Jacob. The crowd was pretty excited to see the outcome. Michael's breathing became short and his steps got heavier. As a veteran athlete, he hadn't even considered the possibility of losing this 1,500-meter race. And now, a college nobody had come out of nowhere and was trying to steal his victory. This threw him off his game. On the other hand, Jacob had a determined look on his face, and his steps remained steady. Anyone could tell that he was determined to take the trophy home today. When he passed the starting line, he glanced at the sign on the side of the tracks. There was only 1 lap left. On the spectator stands, all the guys standing beside Sam were stunned. They had not expected that Jacob could reach second place and maintain his place for so long. As long as Jacob didn't make any mistakes, he would surely get third place, even if his stamina ran out on him during the final lap. They still didn't believe the possibility of him actually winning today. None of them had betted that Jacob would enter the top 3. Standing among them, Sam had a huge grin on his face. Since no one was winning the bet, it meant that the bookie was the real winner and would get all the money. "Jacob, drink some water." Kathy dashed along with Jacob by the side of the track as she handed him a bottle of water with its cap removed. Glancing at her gratefully, Jacob took some gulps as he continued running and handed the bottle back to Kathy. A girl followed suit and proceeded to hand a bottle of water to Michael, who was a few meters in front of Jacob. Usually, Michael would have loved this gesture from one of his fans, but surprisingly, he pushed the girl's arm away, and the water spilled all over the track as the bottle fell to the ground. "Go, Jacob!" shouted Sophie, who was standing ever since the race began. Jacob glanced at her and waved. He brought his attention back to the track in front of him. His body tilted forward as his heels continued to step firmly onto the ground. With a snap, he shot forward like a bullet. He was sprinting. Everyone was screaming by now. He began to sprint with 1 whole lap left. It was 400 meters away from the finish line. It was too soon to start sprinting. Seeing the astonished faces around him, Michael, in the leading position, involuntarily turned around. When he saw Jacob sprinting toward him like a rocket, he hurriedly moved to the right as he tried to block him, but it didn't slow him down. Jacob leaped into the air and passed Michael from the other side, looking like a trained athlete. Michael's heart sank. Jacob had overtaken him. It was the first time in his whole life that he was overtaken by someone with such ease. In his heart, he felt as if Jacob had already defeated him, though he didn't let it show on his face. He still kept running at a steady pace. "He will regret sprinting so early," Michael thought to himself with resentment. He was glaring at Jacob, who was moving further and further away from him. He was holding on to the hope of winning at the last minute as he had done all day today. "Go, Jacob!" On the spectator stand, Sam abruptly stood up and shouted. He felt immensely proud of his friend at that moment and didn't even care about the money for once. "Go, Jacob!" The guys joined him. One after another, all the guys from their class started cheering for Jacob. The girls joined in soon after. Their loud cheering caught attention, and their high energy spread through the other classes of their department. Soon, all the students from the mechatronics engineering major began to cheer for Jacob. From their major to others, the entire engineering faculty began to cheer for Jacob. Their voices were loud and unanimous. "Jacob! Jacob! Jacob!" The cheering resonated across the whole field, and the voices got louder and more distinct. Their faculty had the highest number of students, and their collective cheering was a magnificent sight. Meanwhile, the cheering for Michael from the girls was being overpowered, as if small waves were being overpowered by a tsunami. Hearing the deafening cheers, Michael panicked for the first time. He even found that the guys from the other faculties were cheering for the sophomore. "You all want me to lose?" A wave of fury surged in Michael's mind, and the fury was a source of newfound energy as it allowed him to sprint forward. On the tracks, the two runners continued to sprint as if they were in a 100-meter dash. They sprinted forward with all their strength, even though the finish line was still 300 meters away. Hearing the deafening cheers, Jacob felt a strength surging in his body. Stepping hard on the ground, he began to speed up. Michael, who was also sprinting, got left in the dust as he saw Jacob run away at an insane speed. He knew he would never catch up. Despair engulfed him. He had been overconfident and didn't think for a second that his opponent could overtake him like that. They now had a distance of about 20 meters between them, and he knew that he had lost. When Jacob was almost at the finish line, he turned around to see if Michael was right behind him. His move was noted by most of the audience. They all thought that it was Jacob's way of taunting Michael as he crossed the finish line to show him that he had lost. When Jacob saw Michael was still far behind him, he relaxed before sprinting across the finish line. There was a loud cheer from all the people rooting for him. The energy on the field was at an all-time high. This was the most unexpected outcome of the race there could have been. No one had expected Jacob to even come in the top 3, let alone win the race. His strength had really surprised and impressed his friends. Michael also reached the finish line a few seconds later. Most of the people did not even notice him, as they were too busy celebrating Jacob's victory. The only people who were quiet on the field were the girls who were Michael's fans and the students from his major. One of his friends tried to drape a towel over his shoulders, but was pushed away by him forcefully. With a pair of red eyes, Michael dragged his exhausted body to the locker room without looking back. He wasn't even planning to attend the award ceremony. On the stands, the vice president of the university slouched on his chair with a cup of tea in his hand. He grinned as his gaze followed Jacob, who was walking towards Kathy as soon as he won the race.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.